When I think of the best horror movies ever made, Hereditary is definitely on my list. This movie was just so masterfully directed by Ari Aster. I feel like he had this movie pictured in his head for such a long time, and he was finally able to just make it happen and bring it to life with a very talented cast and crew. And in my opinion, he just knocked it out of the park. I took inspiration from my own short films, and honestly, I hope to direct something as masterfully done as this movie is. It's very specific in style, it's very well acted, and the way Ari told this story, you can just tell he was fully prepared. If you have not seen Hereditary or you've never heard of this movie, pause this video right now and go watch it, because trust me, it's a really good movie, especially if you like all kinds of horror movies. We're going to get into some spoilers now, so you have been warned, but those of you who have seen it, I want to talk about Charlie's death scene. This whole sequence won me over, and it made me add this movie to my favorite movie collection. The scene starts off with this one take shot here, and I actually like these static shots that just capture the conversation and the camera doesn't move. But this is short enough where it doesn't drag on.
No, it's not okay. You're going.
Why?
Because it'll be fun, because you get to hang out with other kids.
With who?
And with your brother, with other kids.
It gets all the important points across to what's about to happen. You can obviously tell Peter wants to go to this party, but his mom really wants Charlie to come out of her shell, so she's really pushing her to go with Peter to this party. And with everything going on in the family, it just kind of makes things awkward, and you can tell Peter wants to speak his mind, but he's just kind of holding his mouth shut and trying not to cause any more stress or problems. We get a little glimpse of the relationship between Peter and Charlie here in the car. She's just sitting back there in silence, doing that weird noise. And instead of confronting her, talking to her about it, he just kind of lets her be. And I feel like Charlie likes this about him, the fact that she doesn't have to deal with anything, she can just be herself. Now at the party, we're shown some girls in the kitchen working on some sort of dessert, and then we see a girl chopping up some peanuts. This is there to foreshadow that something bad's about to happen, because we know from earlier in the film, Charlie is really allergic to peanuts. We cut back to the house where Annie is there, setting up the models of her mother, and kind of mimicking these weird actions that her mother would do, and maybe trying to figure out what exactly she was doing or what her secrets were. Pretty much a form of therapy for her. We cut back to the party, and obviously we see the girl that Peter is interested in, and now at this point he needs to get rid of Charlie. She gives a little bit of pushback, and Peter understandably gets a little bit frustrated because he's just wanting to hang out with this girl, but he's trying to navigate the situation he's in. He doesn't have his sister's best interests in mind and nudges her over to go have a piece of cake. Of course, we as the audience know this is not going to end well. While Peter's upstairs, Charlie comes up, lets him know that she's not feeling well. It's hard to breathe. Then you can see it finally clicks in Peter's head that she's having an allergic reaction. Now the music score here is perfect because it kind of mimics the heartbeat racing, and it's like a very high intense situation. And of course he's going to be driving really fast, so with all the intensity, the music, the high speed driving, Charlie freaking out in the back seat, you know something's going to go wrong. My first time watching this, I thought they were going to get into an accident or something. But of course, we circle back to that pole with the markings, and this happens.
It's okay, Charlie. We're almost at the hospital, okay?
Now this is what I mean when I say master directing. The way that the shot lingers on the car, how quiet it is, right? There's no music here. The acting is spot on, let me just say that. The way that his eyes tear up, the way that he's breathing, the way the camera is mimicking his vision there, like he wants to look at the rear view mirror, but he's too afraid to actually look at Charlie's body in the back seat after what just happened. It's like shock, right? He's going through major shock of what just happened, and he's trying to process it. And I absolutely love how he takes a second, takes a breath, and he even kind of under his breath says, "Are you okay?"
You okay?
He's trying to protect himself, maybe trick himself into like thinking, no, everything's fine. She's fine, right? Just trying to play it off like it's fine. Clearly she's not okay. Clearly she's pretty much dead, right? She got decapitated. He knows something like this happened, but he just can't bring himself to like look behind, come face to face with what just happened, right? Kind of goes into the themes of the movie, like taking responsibility. He just can't come to terms as to what just happened and that his sister just died, basically under his watch. So it was his responsibility, and it led to this horrible tragedy. Now, he was under the influence from the party, right? He was smoking, and smoking affects everyone differently. It could even numb your emotions, but to this degree, I'm not sure. Again, it kind of depends on every person. Everyone reacts to things differently. Most of us would think that we would probably scream, be horrified, and then immediately call 911, right? And the cops would show up. Things would get taken care of as things normally would. But in this instance, he just literally drives home quietly without saying anything, goes to his room, and it's just that much more heartbreaking. You hear the mom say, "Oh, good, they're home." It's just like that line, you know what I mean? And it's just so twisted. Like, he just goes to his room, lays down, and you can just tell he just laid there all night without sleeping. I mean, how can you sleep? You're just in total shock of what just happened. Again, the way this whole scene just played out was insane, and the acting was just next level. When I heard Annie's screams when she found Charlie's body the next day, first of all, I love how he did this. It's just a one shot on Peter's face, how he's in total shock. But the audio in the background, you can hear Annie's screams. And it just kind of transitions into the next scene of her screaming in pain in her bedroom, and then transitions into the funeral. And the way that was done was so good. Like, it was steady shots, but it was all done so well. And then Ari, being a sick bastard, even flashes a frame of Charlie's head on the side of the road, just covered in ants. I mean, that is just gruesome. This is just next tier performance, honestly. When I first saw this, I don't remember ever hearing screams like this, like raw, primal screams of heartbreak and like actual pain.
Oh God! Oh God! And there's no one! I just need to die! Oh! Charlie!
She just did amazing, and I think she deserved all the awards an actor can get. Her performance was just next level. Just everyone in general in this movie just brought their A game. I mean, absolutely insane. And this is what I mean when I say master directing. I think as far as horror goes, this is true horror. Yes, there's those movies that give you jump scares and it's fun to just kind of like chill. But when you want to watch true horror, like a true horror movie, this is how you tell the story. I mean, this is just insane. One of the main reasons why I kept watching, and immediately this catapulted this movie into one of my favorite movies of all time. It's definitely in my collection. Absolutely shot beautifully, told beautifully. Very haunting family story with horror elements in it. Definitely one of the best. If you guys have seen this movie, comment down below what you think of Hereditary. Do you like it just as much? Did you not like it? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to talk about this movie. Again, I hope one day I can bring an idea from my head to life with this much detail and this much love. Ari Aster, you made one hell of a movie.